I'm Deetra Harris. I'm the Managing Director for Strive Wealth Builders. We are a business club for real estate investors. So if you're a junkie, come on over and visit us at strivewealthbuilders.com and join. There's no membership fee to join. Today I will be discussing asset classes and property types. Now, why is that important? Well, if you are an investor, it's vital for you to understand these two terms. And often we confuse these two terms. You will often hear an asset class falls under property types, which is not completely true. So let's discuss these two terms. Let's start with asset class. So asset class can include stocks, bonds, and real estate is considered an alternative to the asset class, as well as private equity, and there are other investment terms that fall under the asset class. So in fact, it is not considered a property type. So let's talk about what are property types. So property types have two terms that we use. We use the type, property type, and we also use classes, which you'll hear very often. And those property classes will include A, B, C, and D classes. Now, when we talk about property types, we're talking about residential and commercial types. So what falls under residential? That would be your single family homes, your condominiums, your townhomes, as well as duplexes and up to 4 units. You may also have vacation homes falls under residential as well, and co-ops. So those are your residential property types. Now, often we could be confused in terms of multifamily. Why? Because duplexes and townhomes can be considered multifamily. However, units that's 4 units or below falls within the residential guidelines, especially for lending purposes. You can actually get some great benefits if you purchase a duplex or a up to 4 units under the lending guidelines or interest rates most of the time. So let's talk about commercial properties. Commercial properties are multifamily. And again, speaking of multifamily, we can really get confused between the two, residential and commercial. This has happened very often in our industry. Commercial multifamily property falls under the 5+ unit rule. So if you have 5 or more units in multifamily, it is considered commercial. What also falls under commercial is retail, hotels, industrial. You'll also find land, also mobile home parks will also fall under this category as commercial, as well as storage facilities. So that kind of give you an overview of what the differences are between an asset class and a property type. To recap, asset classes falls under the stocks and bonds and other private equity and other financial terms, and real estate is considered an alternative under that class. Property types will include residential and commercial. And we went through all of those different types of residential properties as well as commercial properties. Again, why is this important for real estate investors? Because it's important for us to understand our property types when we're investing, and when we decide to create our business plan and to draft our criteria, it's very important to understand these terms as well as your classes, which is A, B, C, and D. Now, at a later time, I will be discussing property classes, which is A, B, C, and D. So stay tuned for that. I thank you very much for listening, and I hope this video was helpful. See ya.